So this is the first of what's going to be basically an online journal for me. I've kept written journals for years, since I was 15. I'm 47 now. But I've been going through something here in the last couple years that's made it difficult to write. My mind is kind of scattered. My thoughts are racing. And I need some kind of a way to process what I've been experiencing and help to hopefully address the things that have been giving me sleepless nights and have affected me physically, emotionally, mentally, maybe even spiritually. So, without getting into much detail here in this first video, I'll just say that since about last July, August of 2022, I experienced what I've been referring to as a crash, where emotionally I felt numb. I only felt negative emotions, but especially like first moments waking up in the morning, or dreams at night, or when during waking hours, would feel absolutely nothing. No sense of love or joy, or hope, or like excitement for the day. Nothing like that. And so there was that. Then I noticed physically that have just been for the past couple of years just steadily losing energy. And my thought process was that maybe this was just getting older. Maybe I just need to exercise more, eat right, act like I did when I was in my mid-20s, run miles and miles and lift weights and stuff like that, and then my energy would return. So that just kind of steadily happened, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really self-medicating my energy. I was drinking a lot of coffee. I've always drunk coffee, and I always will probably, but I added to that energy drinks, like Bang Energy, and just there's so many now, Red Bull and all of them. So I drink one or two of those a day. I used Kratom for a good while, and I still use that from time to time. I took a dose this morning just because I felt so listless. If you take Kratom in small doses, you do get a burst of energy from it. And also nicotine. Believe it or not, like when we moved to southern North Carolina, down near the coast, I don't know whether the rednecks, just living among rednecks, just caught up with me or what, but I started using tobacco dip, even though that's so disgusting and nasty. It always used to repulse me. I never used nicotine before, except an occasional cigar. But I started using dip, and the reason was, that I would feel like this energy from it, and it kind of kept my mouth busy, so I wasn't eating all day, but it actually did give me energy. The first couple weeks that I used it, I had trouble sleeping. I was so wired, physically. And so I was doing lots of different things to try to keep my energy up, try to keep myself working, and to kind of combat the aging that I've assumed must be happening. I mean, obviously it is happening. And yet, about July, August of last year, we had just moved from the beach. My family and I had just moved from the beach to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, closer to the mountains. And I just crashed. I just did not have energy to do anything. And I do mean anything. I couldn't work. I would get up with full intentions of going to work, and I would get dressed, shave, shower, do all those things that I've always done in the morning. And by the time I was done, I just couldn't, I was just so tired that I would just get undressed and go back to bed. You know, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk to my wife or my kids, or old friends would call and I would ignore their call. I literally just wanted to stay in my room with the curtains drawn all day. Just sleeping all throughout the day, taking naps. And it's hard to describe the sense of, like, just thinking like my life was over and that I was literally just waiting for death. Like, all my best days were behind me, and having no interest in the things that I always have had interest in. So I've always loved to read. I've always read lots of different things. I've always loved to listen to music, and I'm not one of those people who got stuck in the, I'm Gen X, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters and all the music of my teen years. I never got stuck there. I always have enjoyed exploring different genres of music and new music. I wasn't listening to music at all. I'm a Christian. I've always loved the Bible. I've always loved to study the Bible, read the Bible. That fell off. My prayer life fell off. My sexual desire for my wife was nothing. That's an area I'm still having issues with. Had no desire, no ambition to go out and do what I need to do to support my family. Playing guitar, talking to old friends. I mean, just everything fell off. Everything was just too much. When I would just think about it, I would think about doing almost anything. And I was like, that. Even to go outside, even to get in the car and go somewhere was like this extremely exhausting thought. And I had no idea what was really wrong with me. My wife and I have been in therapy for our marriage. We've been married for over 25 years. And we've been in therapy for a couple years trying to work on our marriage. Both of us have a lot of trauma from our childhoods and have made a lot of mistakes. And so we're trying to work through those things. And I just didn't realize, since we've been in therapy, most of the therapy has revolved around her, honestly. It's revolved around her, kind of some of the things that she went through in childhood. And not really so much me. But, like, I realized something's really wrong here. Like, it's not normal to be totally, I was basically just catatonic almost. Just at an absolute dead stop with life. Didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to go to church, didn't want to see anybody, talk to anybody. Just literally want to stay in bed all day. And not even know how to articulate what's going on, not understanding why now. And so that's what this journal is going to be about. It's going to be because I really just can't write. I've always written. I love creative writing. I love expressing myself. I've always used writing as a way of clarifying my thoughts. But I just can't do it right now. And I need some kind of a way to keep myself on track, to try to challenge some of the thoughts that I'm dealing with. I'm working with a book called The Feeling Good Handbook by Dr. David Burns. And it's a huge book, but it's got a lot of exercises in it so that you can learn to think a different way. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn to think a different way. I've basically, in the last 2 years, I just feel like my life's come to a screeching halt. I've been stripped of everything. And it's almost like trying to start over. It's almost like being 18 again or something and trying to figure out how the world works again. And so that's what I'm hoping that this journal will help me with. This video journal. Something different. And if it doesn't help me, I can pitch it. That's the glory of the thing. Obviously, I'm going to upload it to YouTube. Nobody's going to watch it. Why would you? Stupid. See, that's negative thinking right there. But it's really a way for me to kind of track progress. Right now, just as an example, physically, I've always been an emotional eater. So when I gave up nicotine about a couple months ago, I just started eating everything in sight. But I've always been heavy. I've always struggled ever since I was 15 or so, just struggled. My weight going up and down. And right now I'm the heaviest I've ever been, 330 pounds. And just to say that is like, that's 3 people. I'm 6'4" and I'm very broad, but that's too much. I mean, I'm just on a path that I can't continue. I have to figure a way to change things. And I know a lot of it, I'm a man of faith. I'm a man who follows Jesus. What's been the aim of my life. You know, life is just, I wonder how many people in my situation just go, man, what happened? Life is so much different than I thought it would be. And maybe that's always the case. Maybe life is always different than we thought it would be. I'm not the person that I imagined I would be when I was 17 or 18 years old. You know, I'm a smart guy. I'm talented in many ways. And you just figure, well, I should be successful. But then these things just kind of interjected this what I call a crash. Maybe my parents would have called it a nervous breakdown. Maybe the old timers would have said something like that. Maybe it's a major depressive episode. But whatever it is, the key to coming out of it, I think, I'm on medication, but I'm not sure that's the key. The key to coming out of it and getting back on track with the rest of my life, with the days I have left, is to change my thinking. Is to change the way that I process events that occur. And there have been some terrible things that have happened. But I can't just stop. So I'm hoping this journal will help me to clarify things, help me to focus my efforts, and help me to track progress. And I have hope that there will be progress. Obviously, I'm better off now than I was 6-7 months ago. The reason being that 6-7 months ago, I couldn't even have sat here and made this video. So I know that progress is happening, and I want to keep it moving in the right direction.